right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. Here's your host. The new Black.
Hey, good morning to you over in our virtual world here at Facebook, YouTube. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show presented to you by the New Black Wall Street. And we are going to continue our journey into some more crypto education. We'll be taking a look at the crypto world over the past 24 hours, past month or so. And we're going to dive into a project or protocol called Solana. Here in the crypto space. So thanks so much for joining us here today. While you guys are connecting, if you are here with us live or replay, let us know where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country you might be joining with us here today on this the June 23rd, this wonderful Wisdom Wednesday, I believe, is the day that we're recording here live. Good morning to you, Ms. Vivian Reed out of Brooklyn, New York. Thanks so much for joining us, Ms. Yvette Goodrich. Also, our brother Donto out of Memphis, Tennessee. Thanks so much for joining us here live. And for everyone else, good morning to you over here on the east side here in the United States. We do have a couple things coming up, just so you guys know. We do have our class this Saturday, which is Crypto 103. Intro to Crypto 103. We'll be discussing and teaching about wallets and security. So if you have an interest in cryptocurrency and you do not understand this whole wallet process, which are basically like your accounts that you would have in a bank, a traditional bank. Of course, this is not traditional. This is unorthodox or non-traditional, and it's a decentralized space. Well, we want to teach you about your different wallets and also the security that comes with the wallets that you select to give you access to different cryptocurrencies in the world. So join us here on Saturday if you catch us live. If you can't catch the live broadcast, you can still register for class, and then you'll get the replay once we are done. Okay, so that link will be in the description below. Also, if you need access, so you want to get a custodial wallet, you can start. A good place to start, I recommend, is Coinbase for the education and also to get you in the game. That link will be in the description below as well. And so, good morning to you, Miss Glenda Tate Williams out of Greens Mountain, North Carolina. Miss Sincere, thanks so much for joining us as well as we dive into Solana. So we'll start by taking a look at the market and some news as well, and what a difference a day makes. I want to actually begin with this fear and greed index. These are the two, basically your crypto fear and greed index, the emotions of the people and how it drives the market. And so yesterday we were still in extreme fear, but we were at a level of 10, and it's jumped up to 14. And we'll take a look and see what that did. Now, I mentioned yesterday that I am typically I follow the mantra of Warren Buffett, says be greedy when others are fearful. So I was actually acquiring some new positions yesterday, or adding to my positions yesterday, while the market was extremely down. I mean, people get fear, they panic sell, they get into a space where they just don't believe anymore. And that's exactly what our traditional mass media, the elite or whatever, however you want to define them, this is how they expect us to act. And so sometimes we just got to do different. And so we see here, last week we were at a 33. Now we're at a 14, up 4 points from yesterday. So money's coming back into the market, and we'll see, we'll see it when we take a look at a couple of charts, the difference that makes as well. As we took a look here at a year of our fear and greed index, we haven't been at these levels of 10 in over a year until recently, as of the week of May 19th. So over the past month, we have really come down to a lot of fear in the market. Some of it is I guess you could say is valid, but some is invalid, depending on what you read and what you pay attention to. But most people, they just react to a drop in prices. They've invested in something. They for some reason they expect it to always go up. It doesn't. It fluctuates, goes up, goes down. Here's what I tell people: if it never dropped in price, you would never have a new opportunity to re-enter if you have stored up or saved up some money to continue to invest. And so I actually like it when prices drop, especially if I found what I believe to be quality, investments, really, what I consider to be some quality or whatever the case may be. Now, of course, we have to find quality. We have to look for it. We have to research it. And that's the reason why we do this show, so we can look into these different projects, see what we have an interest in, and then decide for ourselves is something that we want to invest in. So this is not, this is not investment advice. This is more educational to introduce some of you to this world of crypto, to others, a greater understanding of the cryptos that are out there, and then to move forward from there. Now we see here in crypto world and the coin market cap that we're still pumping out more tokens, up to 10,586 tokens, total tokens in the world. So just imagine, over 10,000 tokens. How many of those are just what we would call crazy coins? Something that was created that really doesn't do much globally. But it may just be for some local, from some organization or whatever the case may be, because anybody can create a cryptocurrency or a token. But it's all about what that token represents, and we can see wide scale adoption for that particular token, where some tokens are not meant to be wide scale or globally adopted. We have now we've moved, but some money's flown back into. So yesterday, I believe it was about 1.23 trillion. Now we're at 1.36 trillion, a 7% increase over the past day. So again, what a difference a day makes. Yesterday, we saw Bitcoin drop down to as low as about $28,000 per coin. I think Robert Kiyosaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad was saying he was waiting until it got to 27 before he jumped back in. So maybe he acquired some new positions in Bitcoin, but now it's up to 34,000. So that's a swing of $6,000 in this particular space. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, we saw money moving from your alternative coins, anything other than Bitcoin, into Bitcoin. And then now we'll start to see money flow into altcoins after Bitcoin has been reestablished. And so that's a pattern that I've seen as I've been looking at this thing every day, I would say, over the past year or so. Bitcoin represents 47% of the market. So of this 1.36 trillion, Bitcoin is 637 billion. At one point in time, Bitcoin represented a $1 trillion market cap, bigger than most companies that we have in the stock market. Ethereum, which is the second most popular coin, is representing $232 billion in the market cap, or 17%. And so if we add those up together, we have about 64% of the whole entire cryptocurrency market, which represents 10,586 coins. 64% of that money, 64% of $1.36 trillion is in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we can understand why. Bitcoin, number one, is the world's first cryptocurrency, the world's most popular cryptocurrency. And so obviously that's a great starting point for many people. And that may be the only cryptocurrency that they know. Ethereum, which is another blockchain, cryptocurrency in the block with a different blockchain, is pretty what we call I would call a foundational coin, because a lot of other tokens are built upon Ethereum because of its smart contract functionality. And then also Ethereum can be used as a medium of exchange. So Bitcoin is a medium of exchange, Ethereum is a medium of exchange, is like a base exchange. So if I was to compare, let's just say Ethereum and Bitcoin, which we can call currencies, to what we currently have in our system, which are currencies, I would say Bitcoin is kind of like the dollar, right? We can trade the dollar for exchange the dollar. So it's probably the most popular currency in the world. And I would probably say the euro would probably be number two. And I would compare that I would say Ethereum would be number two. It would be like the euro. So if we were looking at, powerful currencies in today's market, that would be the dollar and the euro. Well, popular cryptocurrencies in today's market would be Bitcoin and Ethereum. So those are great places. What's going on, brother Sabayo out of Nigeria? Mr. T. Bolden is in the house as well. Those are great places where people are become familiar. That's a place where many new people into the market start, and then a lot of institutional adoption from our institutions, our banks, that are getting into this space. Bitcoin and Ethereum are pretty much on the top of their food chain. But we will see also that there are different other alternative coins that they may use. They may use to build. They may use to produce or to create something like that. Now we'll take a look over here at Decrypt. We can also go to a couple other places for some news for today. So we have some again. There's some regulation that's trying to come into the space over at UK. Obviously, we've talked enough about China, but the discussion about China is not really new news. That's been happening, for quite a while. And here's the reason: if you think about it, China really wants to control their country. The powers that be. And so they have created to compete with Bitcoin. They've created their digital yuan, which is their currency, a currency in China. And so they're saying, hey, we want our people in our country to adopt this digital yuan or a CBDC. And so in order for us to make them adopt this currency, we must get rid of the competition. So they've driven Bitcoin miners out of China, which is actually a good thing for Bitcoin. And then they also are suppressing their people and their country from actually being able to participate in this global phenomenon called cryptocurrency, i.e., most referred to as Bitcoin. And so as a government and as a sovereign, as a nation, to basically say, hey, our people can't participate in something that's global, that might be a fight that they have to take that they may have later on as the rest of the world may adopt Bitcoin. As we see El Salvador, we're starting to see other countries look at making it legal tender, which basically means making it legal money. We have here Tim Burns, Lee, he defends Worldwide Web NFT sale. So there was a he basically created an NFT, which is a digital decentralized digital art or digital representation of something. He sold a source code, the web source code, as an NFT. So he's the creator of the World Wide Web. The source code, which was used to develop the World Wide Web, he sold it as an NFT, which is a authentic, only one made. So somebody, it looks like, obviously bought that NFT, and they now have that source code, which he was the creator of. And here's the deal: like, he owns it, he created it. If he wanted to sell it, I don't see a problem with that. If I created an NFT of some sort and I sell it, well, I don't know why he needs to defend that him selling something that he owns. But hey, that's what we do in our news. We that's important to us. So you got South Korea, who have seized 47 million in crypto taxes. It looks like they have some tax evaders for crypto. Tax season in the country, months long end, led to confiscation of $47 million in Ethereum. Now I don't know how they confiscate Ethereum. I'm not quite sure how this is working. We had a story from the United States where they confiscated something from Pipeline. I don't know how you confiscate cryptocurrency, but again, not the 47 million seized of tax evasion. So just keep in mind, guys, that if you're trading, you're buying, you're selling, consult with your tax advisor, your accountant, as it relates to any taxes that you might be due on your end for your participation in any capital gains or any capital losses that you have throughout any particular year. Again, NFT is a pretty popular space. So we have Maker, looks like a DAO. Oh wow. So it looks like they're creating a cologne or some type of fragrance called the Scent of Metaverse as an NFT. I'm not quite sure. You're not going to be able to smell it as an NFT, I don't think. But at any rate, perfume maker is getting into is getting into the NFT space. Again, this is the representation of decentralized digital makeup that's that's now going to be represented. A perfume is going to be represented as an NFT. You have this Dogecoin millionaire. Dogecoin dropped significantly over the past month, past 2 weeks, but he is holding on strong, believing in the future of the Dogecoin. Wicked Cranium top sales 4 million in 2 days. As far as in secondary sales of their NFT collection. So NFTs are a big part of the decentralized cryptocurrency space. It's a way for creators, artists, musicians to create something of value that they could sell, something that's authentic that they could sell. And so the NFT space is kind of taking over. It's taking over, trading. If you think of like baseball cards or basketball cards or Pokemon cards, that's being disrupted. We have NFTs that represent music, so someone can make a song or make an album as an NFT and sell just one. Reminding me of probably a place that Nipsey Hussle was probably going to go when it came to him selling, his 100 albums that he sold for, CDs that he sold or whatever the case may be for $100 a piece. As I mentioned, literature, books, these source codes, anything that can be created and then can be duplicated on the blockchain as an NFT. A lot of people are moving into the space, and we see a lot of us. We saw yesterday that I guess Damon Dash was being sued for him creating a Rockefeller NFT. We have Naughty by Nature who's gotten into that space. So musicians are starting to say, hey, here's another space where I can create and share my music, and me keep my masters, me keep the money, all of the profit and proceeds go to me, and basically it's this disrupting the music industry. What's going on, Brother Sabayo said the Nigerian government through the Central Bank of Nigeria is also currently working on developing digital currency called Naira coin. Hence, crypto is a new world changer. Let's not lose our focus. I appreciate you, brother. So he's in Nigeria sharing that this is happening over in his space as well. We do have, Facebook is creating a cryptocurrency. United States is in discussion of the United States dollar coin. And then we have the federal government, which has put off crypto regulation for 2021 or more regulation. And they are focusing on what's going on with the whole short sellers with AMC and GameStop and things like that. What's going on over in that world? They'll be focusing on bringing regulation over in that space. So today, so that's the news. Let's go over to just one more spot just to make sure there's not anything else. Because some spaces provide a little bit more or different information as well. We'll go to CoinDesk.com real quick. So we're done with this. Yeah, we're done with this. Again, this is news of the day for cryptocurrency. Then we'll jump into Solana. So again, rebounded from about 29,000 yesterday. We see that up. We're going to take a look at quite a few. What was it? Goldman Sachs? Something about Goldman Sachs? Okay, for a report. Okay, this thing moving pretty slow. Bitcoin mining. Okay, yeah, so nothing there. So let's go over here. I'll get out of that. See, some of these websites have so much on it. Okay, let's come over to coinmarketcap.com. So coming back here, guys, to our CoinMarketCap, we see we can take a look here down this whole 24-hour percentage. We met yesterday at 7 o'clock. We're meeting this morning as well. And yesterday, everything was ugly, right? Down 15%, 18%, 20% across the board. We still see, 7 days of decline. but we're starting to see a kind of a rebound from that $29,000 mark. We'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart in just a second, but we see Binance Coin up 11%, Cardano 12%. So basically, not 10 to 15% rebound from yesterday at this time. And then obviously, if you were in the market yesterday and it dropped even further throughout the day, you might even see a greater return, depending on when you may have gotten in, if you got in at all. And what I'll say is it's very difficult, very, very difficult for the person to look at a lot of red and look at things declining and have the gumption to say, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to, enter the market. That's a very, very, very difficult thing to do, because it is an emotional ride, so to speak. You're looking at falling prices. You could be looking at a decline in your portfolio. It could drive you, it could cause you to be upset, cause you to be fearful as well. But again, if we get back to what I would call fundamentals, why did I get this in the first place? What does it represent? What's its long-term value? That could help to alleviate the feeling. And we've all been there. Those that are invested, we've all been there where, something didn't go as we had planned. It feels like we lost money, but we didn't. It's all, you really don't lose until you sell. So that'd be a very difficult thing to overcome. So this thing is still thinking. I'll take this thing back. I don't know if it's popping up or not. No, it's not. Still thinking. So I'm gonna see if I can get a chart up for you guys. I'll go back over to the crypt. We'll take a look at try to take a look at Bitcoin chart. It normally pops up at the top. Okay, there we go. So give me just a second, guys. Just trying to see if any of these have adjusted. Okay. So we see here, we'll take a look here, see if this thing works for us. It is moving pretty slow. Let's see which one goes faster. I might need to stop clicking so much, and it might work for me, huh? All right, so let's take a look here. Here's kind of what happened over the past 7 days with cryptocurrency. Again, it was up at June 16th, a week ago. We were pushing 39,000, 40,000. It was actually declining from there. We saw a high of 60,000. But it tested this area as far as what we would call its resistance up here at about 40,000, and then since June 15th, again, that's about a week ago, week and a half ago, we have seen the decline, all the way down here to 29,000 yesterday, right? But then once that 20,000, once it broke this down this level of 29,000, we started to see people saying, hey, whether it be institutions, whether it be retail investors, money flowing back into the market, and this was at 9 a.m. yesterday. Started flowing back into the market after we got off our live stream yesterday, pumping this thing all the way back up to where it is now at 34,000. So that's a $5,000 adjustment on a $30,000 asset. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking. That's why we're starting to see these numbers of 8.53% for Bitcoin. And then we see other numbers for other cryptocurrencies as well. Typically, money will flow into Bitcoin, and then we'll start to see money flow back into the altcoins. We saw money leaving altcoins, going to Bitcoin, recovery of Bitcoin. Then we start seeing the recovery of our alternative coins as well. But I mentioned this. So I mentioned that last week we would see a decline over the weekend. I mentioned that, and then then Monday was a continued decline, and then Tuesday now we're starting to see money flow back into cryptocurrency, and we'll probably start to see the news change. The news is probably going to change as well. The news is going to start getting positive, showing Bitcoin strength. We're probably going to hear some more. If it passes 40,000, we'll start to hear some more predictions about where it's going. So news kind of works both ways, positive and negative. But understand that news is just a recap. News is just about what has happened in the past. Very, very seldom will you hear anything in the news about what's taking place in the future. Okay. What's the website? We are on coinmarketcap.com. All right. So we'll take a look here, find out about Solana. I think it's down here at around 10ish or so. That's what we're going to look at here today. So it's 14. So Solana is number 14, ranked coin, and that has to do with its market cap. $8.3 billion are in this cryptocurrency space for Solana. So we'll find out that 272, I think I just saw, billion, coins out in supply. We have 494 billion coins that are supplied totally, which represents they got a blue check mark there. Verify that. 272 billion Solana coins out in the market. It's up 34% over the past 24 hours. So Solana is something a lot of people are a lot of the market is investing into. Market cap's up 34%. Fully diluted, if it was fully diluted, we'd be at 15 million. That would be if we were at our total supply. But we're not at our total supply now. So circulating is 272 billion coins. And that's at times $31 per coin, brings us to the $8.4 billion market cap. Volume. So we have 1.4 trillion dollars in volume that's taking place. That's up 98% over the past 24 hours. So again, we're showing high volume, money moving in transactions, increase of transactions taking place. And then obviously that's to the upside, because we see that this thing has jumped up significantly over the past 24 hours. So 34%. Now you imagine. So here's the thing about cryptocurrency, as I mentioned, that is very volatile, right? You could be down, this thing jumped down maybe 15%, and one day jumped up 35% the next day. So that bodes well for those who are into maybe trading crypto, to not take that hit of the 15% down, but participate in 34% growth. That also, even for those that may not trade, they just may invest. You might came in and said, hey, I see value in this particular coin. I see value at the price that it's at. And you could be participating in that as well. Just know that again, it's very volatile, up and down. It's not something that moves very slow, like like many of our stocks in the stock market. It has a lot of volatility. Volatility means up and down movement based upon what's going on in the market. So let's find out about what Solana is. It represents SOL on the crypto exchange. Everybody put in the comments on SOL. So if you're looking for Solana, again, that would be SOL in the cryptocurrency space. Okay, that's its ticker symbol. What's going on, Brother Troop? Yeah, lower entry points, absolutely. Lower entry points, absolutely. But of course, it may not necessarily be on your radar until you learn about the coin and learn about what it's doing and learn about why it's created. That's why we have this show. So Solana is a highly functional open source project that banks on blockchain technology's permissionless nature to provide decentralized finance solutions. So this is looking to bring DeFi solutions. While the idea initial work on the project began in 2017, it launched in March of 2020. So it launched at the beginning of the pandemic by the Solana Foundation. Solana Foundation is probably some type of nonprofit, organization, and it's out of Switzerland. The Solana protocol is designed to facilitate decentralized app creation. So all of these decentralized apps, very similar to apps that you find on your phone now in the App Store, aims to improve scalability by introducing a proof of history consensus combined with underlying proof of stake. So we already have proof of stake. We've been learning about proof of stake with quite a few other coins. This one here is introducing a new consensus, proof of history, and that proof of history, or POH, you can put that in the comments as well. POH would be its, what makes it unique and different as an open source project. Okay, because of the innovative hybrid consensus model, Solana enjoys interest from small-time traders and institutional traders alike. A significant focus on the Solana Foundation is to make decentralized finance accessible on a larger scale. So DeFi is looking to improve in DeFi, make it better, make it more scalable, make it more, to actually make DeFi a thing for, global adoption. And so who are the founders? You got Anatoly Yakovenko, who used to work at Qualcomm. He later started working as a software engineer at Dropbox. So smart, sounds like a smart brother. Then also he teamed up with his colleague from Qualcomm, Greg Fitzgerald. They found a project called Solana Lab. So they do all of their work in the Solana Lab, more than likely, and it's brought to you by the Solana Foundation. All right, so they have a workspace, they have a nonprofit, and they have a token. So what makes Solana unique? What essential innovations Solana brings to the table is a proof of history consensus. Again, this concept allows for greater scalability of the protocol, which in turn boosts usability. Solana is known in the cryptocurrency space because of the incredible short processing times the blockchain offers. So it's making it faster. Solana's hybrid protocol allows for significantly decreased validation times for both transaction and smart contract execution. With lightning fast processing times, Solana has attracted a lot of institutional interest as well. So because it makes it faster, more efficient, and this is going to happen, guys, there's going to be more and more protocols that come out or developed that's going to make things faster, make things easier, make things more convenient. So we go. It's kind of like I was thinking of it this way. I was thinking about the evolution of like communication and how it was slow back in the day, but we thought back in the day that was fast, right? So something moved from the rotary phone to our our dial phone or touch tone phone, I guess is what you would call it. And then I remember moving into beepers, where you have a little device and they beep you, and then you go to a payphone and you call them back or something like that, right? But payphones don't even really exist anymore. I don't even know if they probably still exist somewhere, but very few payphones are available now because everybody has cell phones. And then we went to cell phones, and we went to smartphones. So things have over time been evolved. Innovation or technology is coming in place, and it's made things faster. From snail mail to email to now texting or something like that, right? So everything has gotten faster. It's gotten to be faster. So that's what's going to happen on the blockchain as well. It's all cryptocurrency is 10 years old. It's still relatively new, and more projects are coming out. They're finding problems with what currently exists or something that bothers them. And that in that particular case would be execution time. And they're saying, hey, let's develop something to make it faster. So it could be globally adopted. The Solana protocol is intended to serve both small-time user and enterprise customers alike. One of Solana's main promises to customers is that they will not be surprised by increased fees and taxes. The protocol is designed in such a way to have a low transaction cost, so it's cheap, while still guaranteeing scalability and fast processing. So they're keeping the cost low while still allowing things to get to scale and process faster. That's what their claim to fame is. So we have the number of stock coin, again, 4,800 million tokens will be released in circulation. At the moment, 260 million of these have already entered the market. So we're going to have a total of 489 million. That's not going to be its cap, but that's what they have so far. And I guess as it gets more and more adopted, then more and more tokens will be released into the market for trade, for use, and things like that. So let's take a look here. This is interesting. So again, proof of stake, proof of history. That's what's kind of important to know now. We already understand proof of stake, but it's proof of history. This combination of both of them being used with Solana makes it very unique in the blockchain industry for right now. Of course, something will come out later, which will mimic Solana. But right now, that's what we have. So let's go over to their website and see if we can find out more about Solana from the horse's mouth. This would be at solano.com, SOLANA.com, SOLANA.com. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, Miss. What's going on, Hugh? Buy low, sell high. Absolutely. Solana, absolute proof of history. Yes, ma'am. Workspace nonprofit coin. POH stand for proof of history. Yep, absolutely. All right. So let's keep going. See if we can learn a little bit more in this particular area about Solana, this cryptocurrency. Now, let's understand crypto apps. So when we say D-app or decentralized app, we're talking about crypto apps. We're talking about apps that are built on a blockchain that will then be usable in the real world. Okay, we're talking about apps that are built on a blockchain that will be usable in the real world. That's what we're talking about when we talk about D apps or crypto apps. So I think even just learning terminology is going to be very valuable. This is new terminology, new language. But very similar. They're just coming up with new words to mimic what we do in our current world, and we can understand what's going on here in the in the blockchain or decentralized world. So this is a place for people to develop or to build crypto apps that scale. So this sounds like to me very similar. Another one of these, I guess we can call another one of these foundational coins, something that is created to be built upon. So Ethereum obviously is the most popular, what I would call foundational coin, something that's a foundation and things come along and they built on top of it. Solana sounds like it's another protocol that things are built on top of it. We have Algo, another protocol, things are built on top of it. Some of the tokens that are created are what's being built on top of something. So they partner with these foundations or these projects so that they can do what they want to do. So they can create what they're going to create. But this is creating a space where they can actually have, they can scale, they can grow. It's cheap or cheaper, quite possibly. I don't know what those fees are, but they're saying it's cheaper. Average fee per transaction is less, a quarter. I don't even know how we go far out. 0.00025. These are the total transactions that are taking place on the Solana protocol. And then I block time and nodes are probably more developer information. So it's fast, secure, censorship resistant blockchain, providing open infrastructure required for global adoption. So you can imagine if you built for our developers that are out there, if you built some type of decentralized app that became adopted globally, that's used all over the world. Now, one of those apps that's being used all over the world that we know of is this thing called Facebook. Facebook is an app on most people's phones that is used all over the world. It's an app that's centralized. It's an app that's developed and run by a company. And obviously, I think it's more to Facebook than just the app. But we understand that's an app that has, I guess you could say, has global adoption. Then have other apps like TikTok, Instagram. Those are apps that pretty much global adoption. There's probably quite a few others that are out there as well. But given this opportunity in this space in the crypto world is where things are kind of going. So you start building, but learn more. I'm gonna try to play this video, guys. I don't know. It's only 1:40. Let's see if it plays.
Let me ask you a question. Tired of high fees and slow transactions? So are we. Public blockchains have opened the door for anyone with an internet connection to create and access digital markets. The global financial system has the potential to become more innovative, efficient, and democratized. But there's a problem. Legacy blockchains don't scale, and therefore the crypto apps built on top can't either. As usage has increased, so have the fees and transaction wait times, preventing crypto ecosystems from reaching their full potential. Enter Solana. The Solana blockchain is fast, really fast, and it's low cost, with average fees less than a cent per transaction. What's more, Solana empowers developers to rapidly experiment and deploy apps using composable building blocks, while never dealing with additional friction introduced by sharding or fragmented layer 2 systems. Lastly, Solana is censorship resistant and scales as its ecosystem grows to billions of users globally, meaning the network will remain open for applications to run freely and transactions will never be stopped. Yes, Solana is truly unstoppable, now and forever. So say goodbye to transactions and high fees. And say hello to Solana, where you can build crypto apps that scale today.
Okay, so it played. All right, so let me try to break down what just happened here on this video. It's not a little muddy as far as the voice is concerned. But again, what we just talked about, Solana is coming into this space to make things, make these transactions less expensive, which is important if it wants global adoption. We have to be able to use this, not cost so much, and then therefore we can say, hey, now we can really get into this. From the developer side, those building on top of Solana or building on top of any blockchain, they're going to look to save money. And so if they can actually have their apps move at a brisk pace, lightning speed, but then also be less expensive, then as you might have heard, layer two, this will be the second layer of the blockchain. This is we're moving from layer 1 to layer 2. We have Ethereum 2.0 coming out, which is a layer 2. So it sounds like it's the next version, I guess you could say, of the blockchain. So it's the best project, so they say, in DeFi, Web3, and blockchain gaming. Choose to build Solana for the long term. So games are being built on the blockchain. But this is considered to be Web 3.0. Evolving from where we have been with the introduction of the creation of the World Wide Web into where we're going in the future, in the very near future as well. And then also the evolution of finance, moving the control of finance from your central banks, your authorities, into the hands of the people, and allowing them to benefit from how they participate in that DeFi world. Be very careful though, as well. So these are all of these running are actually using Solana. A lot of stuff I've never seen or ever heard of, but we can view all of the protocols that are using Exodus, that are building upon waves, that are building upon the Solana platform. So Solana can process 50,000 transactions per second. Don't believe it. Stress test the network to experience Solana speed for yourself. So they can do that. So this is definitely a place where a lot of developers may look at. You can start building, say goodbye to high fees and slow transactions. Solana was built for speed without trade-offs. So this is the project that's behind the token. Now, what I want to find out is, okay, with me, let's just say if I was interested in Solana, with me, investing in the token, that means that I'm also investing in the future promise of what Solana, the project, is offering, right? So if as an investor, that's what I would be doing. I'll be saying, hey, I believe in what Solana is doing. Let me invest in the token so I can participate in their profits, quote unquote. I can help them. I can help this project to move forward with my contribution or my investment. So it's kind of like saying, hey, if I believe in Apple, for example, and I invest to own, Apple shares or Apple shares in that company. Although I'm not a part owner in the Solana the project, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm believing in what Solana was doing. The same way that if I was going to invest in Apple stock, I'm believing in what Apple is doing and the future promise that they may bring back. So scalable, low cost, and composable are the three main points that they're making with this project. Solana's single-digit global state ensures composability between projects, never deal with multiple shards or layer 2 systems, low cost, and we've also mentioned scalable. They have a community here where you can build an app, right? So we have some app builders here. Is there anybody here that's watching live that you've built an app or you're an app builder? And if so, have you even considered, or even do you even know that you can dive into the DeFi, the cryptocurrency space, and build an app on a decentralized network? So again, for all of our developers, engineers that are out there, this is a space where you can actually build a D app, which will just be probably it's very similar app that you're building, but not for Google Play Store, not for Apple iOS, but in the decentralized world. And I'd love to see us, be over in this space, creating and developing, because this is a very new space. And who knows that the app that you create, the game that you create, whatever, how quickly it can be adopted in this decentralized world as well. Organize an event or create educational resources to help others learn. So there are many ways to contribute to Solana ecosystem. Organize an event for Solana. Let me come back up here and I'm gonna see if when we saw that learn more, what this is going to do here, where it's going to take us. So they have grants. They help you get funding, technical support, and resources to boost your project at warp speed. Coding. So we see coding obviously is big. Is the new thing, and hopefully we're moving our children into this space as well. Code in Rust, C++, C++ been for a while. Flexible virtual machine integration with more on the way. Avoid long wait times. Capital efficiency as the ecosystem grows. Solana scales thanks to Moore's law. There's no need to integrate with multiple shards or layer 2 solutions. Enterprise grade security, audited by a Fortune 500 preferred security firm, ironclad immutability or for global scale. So here we go here. So 8 core innovations enable your business to scale to billions of user devices around the world. So let's go through these 8 core innovations for the Solana project. Don't choose between scale, security, decentralization. Solana solves the trilemma for you. No sharding required. Here's how. You have your proof of history, right? We're going to click on this because I want to find out exactly what it means. A clock before consensus. You have your Tower BFT, a proof of history optimized version of PBFT. You have Turbine, a blockchain, a block propagation protocol. Gulfstream, mempool-less transaction forwarding protocol. C-level, world's first parallel smart contracts runtime pipeline. Transaction process unit for validation. Cloudbreak, which is another innovation. Horizontally scaled accounts database and archives distributed ledger storage. So let's see if I click on proof of history here. What does that do? Okay, so here is where we can learn about what are the main components, which is proof of history. Wow, look at this. Let's say, what if, let me make this bigger for you. So let's learn about proof of history while we're here. Because if Solana is doing it and it's innovative, eventually it'll be copycat, and we can understand, just like we begin to understand proof of stake, what proof of history is. So what if instead of trusting the timestamp, you could prove that the message occurred sometime before and after an event? When you took a photograph with the cover of the New York Times, you were creating a proof that your photograph was taken after the newspaper was published, or you have some way to influence what New York Times publishes. With proof of history, you can create a historical record that proves that an event occurred at a specific moment in time. So you have proof of history timestamp. The proof of history is a verifiable delay function. Our specific implementation uses a sequential pre-image resistant hash that runs over itself continuously with the previous output used as the next input. Periodically, the count and the current output are recorded for your hash function to process. We can then be certain that real time has passed between each counter as it was generated, and the recorded order of each counter is the same as it was in real time. I don't know whether they want these images to show or not. They definitely are not showing. Wow. So this definitely goes into development. So I'm not going to go too far into this because most of us are probably not developers. But for those that are, obviously this is a developer. This is a developer protocol for our developers out there. So network, block explorer, network performance, stake distribution. I'll take a look at that in just a second. What I would be more than likely is I would be a validator in this space if I were to own Solana. So let's take a look at network, stake distribution. Whew. So I don't want to do too much in that developer space. That talk there really is not my area. So here we have, okay, so Solana Beach it looks like a place where we have 168 validators in the market. I don't know what all this stuff means, guys. This is a lot, but they're staking these. They're staking in order for these different projects. 7.59% reward rate staking APY, and it looks like these are different. I guess these are different projects that are taking place that are being validated on this network. Yeah, I don't know. Chorus One staking facilities, Everstake. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. These are different places, different pools. I guess you can call them different pools for staking. So not every. So you can stake Solana, but this probably is where you could actually stake it at. Coinbase isn't one of those places where you can stake Solana, but I'd imagine that all of these are different pools, different nodes that are coming together, and they're staking their tokens for a percentage rate. And maybe the more that you stake, these are very, very low numbers here, though. I'm looking at these rates. You can't really. It's not easy to see. But Chorus One is the number one staking pool. I guess we can call it at 4.84%. And this is what helps validate the network. So this is basically just a big dashboard to give you stats and stuff like that on the network itself. Let me see if I click validators. What does that do? All right. So I will probably become a validator. I'm not a developer. I'll be on the network helping to validate and earn rewards as a validator, like we see over here. Those rewards will be in a return of percentages for the Solana that I accumulate, and then the Solana that I stake if I were to do that. It's a decentralized network by providing computing resources. Maybe not. I probably won't do that. I don't know. Staking and validation. Stake tokens and earn rewards by processing and validating transactions. Earn commissions by managing delegated tokens on behalf of others. So they got some validators here. Earn tokens by running a node. I'm not going to do that. To test new features and benchmark network performance, and then bug bounty program. One of our top priorities is the security and safety of the network. We welcome security researchers to submit bug reports. Okay, so those are 3 different ways to become a validator on the network. Protocol-based rewards, issuance of global protocol-defined inflation rate. These rewards are delivered on top of earnings from transaction fees. Our market-based P2P transfer attached to network. Okay, transaction fees as well. Staking. Okay, here we go. Stakers are rewarded for helping to validate the ledger. They do this by delegating their stake to validator nodes. Those validators do the legwork of replaying the ledger and send votes to a per node vote account to which stakers can delegate their stakes. The rest of the cluster uses those stake-weighted votes to select blocks where forks arise. So this is where I would be at. If I would look to accumulate Solana, I want to come over here and see what I can do about staking to increase my return versus just holding it. So there's a couple different ways to play that. You could be a person that's just trading out the tokens, hoping that it moves up in value. That's one way to go about it. I'm more of a person that wants to get to this whole staking game. This is a long game for me. By staking your SOL tokens, you help secure the network and earn rewards while doing so, which we saw over the validator space. You can stake by delegating your tokens to validators who process transactions around the network. Delegated stake is a shared risk, shared reward financial model. So this is what a stake is a shared risk, shared reward financial model. What we currently have, guys? We currently have a model where we take all the risk and they get all the reward. We take the risk, they get the reward. If you think about maybe someone like it's a financial advisor for you, it's your money that you're risking in order to try to get some type of return based upon their suggestions or their management of your money, right? You take all the risk. You might get a reward, but they're definitely going to get a reward because they're going to get paid for the management of your account, right? You take all the risk with your money, they get the reward, right? Here we have a model where it's saying, hey, share risk, share reward in this whole validation adoption space. And that's why, for me, staking is a very, very interesting space in the DeFi world. It gives me an opportunity to earn commissions, right, on the tokens that I choose to delegate back to the community, the Solana community in this particular case, to allow them to continue to do what they do. Now, why would I do that? I would do that if I believed in what Solana was doing, if I believed in what they were bringing, the problems that they're looking to solve, and I believe in their future, the future promise. So I could come and participate in the Solana protocol. So anyway, I'll be reading this on my own, guys. But yeah, I think we found out today, what Solana is. It's definitely a space again for the developers, but for those that are not developers, you can still participate in this space in one form or fashion. You could acquire the coin if you believe in the project. But this is I would group this with the Ethereums of the world, the Algos of the world. What did we look at the other day? We looked at something the other day. I can't always remember everything, but as something that a cryptocurrency that's created as a project to be built upon by other cryptocurrencies. In this particular case, they're saying, hey, they really are going to for those that are building apps. They really want to be that solution for the app builders out there. Okay. They really want to be a solution for the app builders, the crypto app builders, or the D-app builders. They're out there. And obviously, I think what we found is that the D-app space, apps built on the blockchain, decentralized apps that are being built, is going to be big for crypto. To start moving these apps from centralized spaces to decentralized spaces is going to be huge for cryptocurrency. What's going on, Ms. Boyce? How are you? Thanks so much for joining. Is Solana an ERC token 20 base token? I do not think so, Mr. Sabayo. I think that Solana is actually its own blockchain. So that's why I said comparing it to Ethereum. It doesn't sound like it's built on Ethereum. It sounds like Solana is its own blockchain, and the thing is to be built on top of Solana. That's what it sounds like. I could be wrong, but it sounds like it's in competition in a sense with Ethereum and with, I would say, also Cardano, which is ADA. So I'm starting to try to group these things. Matter of fact, what was I'm gonna try to find it's a diagram. Yeah, it's a diagram that I'm gonna find a diagram tomorrow when we meet to show these different groupings of cryptocurrencies. That some are in this space, some are in that space, some are in this space, but they kind of try to group them so for what they represent, what they're going after. I try to find that for tomorrow. Well, there's no difference between Solana and crypto, Ms. Goodrich. Solana is a cryptocurrency. But it's in its own category, I guess you could say. And I think tomorrow when we pull up that diagram, it'll start to make more sense. So this is let's just say this is a cryptocurrency in a category. I'm gonna call it a foundational coin, but we'll see these categories. I'll try to find that diagram for tomorrow when we meet. We gotta get ready for the Financial Health Mentor. So I want to say thanks so much for everyone that's joined us, especially on BBC TV. Financial Health Mentor will be coming up with some more financial information. If you learned anything today in the cryptocurrency world, learned anything today about this crypto called Solana, just drop some pineapples in the chat, representing that you have learned something here today. This is crypto education. As we dive a little bit into introduce this currency called Solana, or SOL, in the cryptocurrency space. And so interesting is to say, could be confusing to others with new language and things like that. But again, the 14th most popular coin in the cryptocurrency space, with over $8 billion. I believe we saw $8 billion flowing through it. And so it could be a thing for some, it could be not a thing for others. I truly believe that as we may be investors, we invest in that which we understand. And so hopefully you understand Solana a little bit better today than you did previous to an hour ago. Hope you hit the like button, share button, all the good stuff. I'm your host, ERGJ, and I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We got beautiful people. Matter of fact, all we really need Miss Glenda Tate Williams, I'll ask about that. We all really need, and thank God that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is, Mr. DJ. Hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.